I'm reading Dune prequel books, and Kevin J. Anderson could be a good choice to help George R. R. Martin finish A Song of Ice and Fire. Saga of Seven Sons also echoes A Thousand Worlds. Yeah, I interviewed Kevin J. Anderson once a number of years ago. He's an incredible dude in like his ability to write. Like he and just being able to produce. So the guy goes on walks and dictates his stories while he's hiking. And then his like secretary like writes everything down. And then then he goes from there. But he just like stream of consciousness while walking, like can like spit out a novel, which is amazing. The guy, like, I couldn't imagine doing something like that. He's a super, super smart, bright guy. He is. His writing style is very different from George, though. Like, and it's not like Kevin J. Anderson is really, really smart, and he will put in the research. He will put in the time. Like he learned every motherfucking thing about Dune. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, we had a very detailed discussion, and he has it all down. Like, he knows every little bit of lore. He's a really intelligent guy, really hard worker, and can just fucking write, can just spit something out. He can spit out a fucking book in a month. Incredible. But it's not George's writing style. It's not George's writing style. And I don't know if you could take somebody like that, a guy whose mind works at 1,000,000 miles a minute. And that's the thing. I was like talking to him, and he was just 1,000,000 miles a minute kind of guy, and gifted gab too. Could he sit down like and just like slog and make it sound like George and just go through? Like, I don't know.
You kind of answered that already, though, right? Because in order for him to write Dune, he sat down and learned everything he could about Dune.
It's true, and you're right, Carmine. You're absolutely right, because the sequel and prequel books are not in the same writing style as Frank Herbert, and everybody comments on that they're just not in the same writing style.
Yeah. Well, the Dune show we're getting now, the prequel from HBO, isn't that based off Kevin J. Anderson and Frank Herbert's son stuff?
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad, but what's funny about what you're saying is that like your editor he makes it sound very George R. R. Martin-esque. So it is possible. It is actually possible, but we've already had this conversation several times. George does not want anyone to touch it.
Well, no, there's a million ways to do it. I mean, it's certainly possible if you got like like I say, you get an editor to mimic the writing style, and you get a writer to like pop it out on the first draft or whatever, who knows all the lore, and you produce it that way. It's not impossible. Like I say, I mean, we're essentially doing that, but as a bunch of amateurs. Professionals could obviously do it with speed. So professionals.
This is actually I hate to because I know you probably have to go soon. This is actually a possibility that Elio brought up in my conversation with him. I don't know if it was in part 1, which you heard part 1, right?
Yeah, I remember discussions of that. Yeah.
Elio said
Elio didn't want to be part of anything like that
because he wants to respect George's wishes.
Yeah, he also doesn't feel like if it's not from George, he just doesn't believe it's the thing. He could say it could be the most incredible thing ever that he's ever written, but if it's not from George, it's not from George. That was his point.
Elio brought the idea that if something did happen to George, that whoever is in charge of the estate could bring in another writer to do it. But yeah, exactly. He would not be a part of it. Even if they asked him, he would say no per George's wishes.
Yeah.
And that'd be that.
Yeah. And I believe him in every respect. Like, having talked to Elio, like he's a man who has certain beliefs, and that's a big part of it. Yeah. Will Melisandre fulfill Jon's plan to build glass garden at Castle Black? It's such a strange idea that Jon weirdly elaborates some details on. It is. There's just no time. I mean, even Jon is like, we need to bring in glass from like Myr and have like greenhouses and stuff like that. It's and some people are like, oh, maybe this is the George put that in to try to deal with the lemon tree, and it's like, no, 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 we didn't. Because also like his description like has talks about it pumping in hot air from in Winterfell and things like that, and so it's a bit contradictory because, like I say, he wants it to be like Winterfell, but Winterfell has geothermic fed like greenhouses, like to warm them at the same time as getting light. They don't have that at the wall. So I don't know what John's thinking. It's a weird thing where I just feel like maybe George was filling space. But yeah, there's just no time to bring in like glass and everything.
Really, that because the way what I took from that was Game of Thrones did it very poorly with Sansa towards the end, like how
Mhm.
Sansa is trying to like take charge and like this armor, make sure it has padding in it. It's like
Right.
whatever. It to me when I read it, it was more like, oh, John is like planning for the future. He's like,
Yeah,
just
like you're saying it's like color that shows that John is somebody that like thinks outside the box, right?
right. That's how I took it.
Yeah. Glass, John mused, might be of use here. Castle Black needs its own glass gardens, like the ones at Winterfell. He could grow vegetables even in the deep of winter. The best glass came from Mere, but a good clear pane was worth its weight in spice, and green and yellow glass would not work as well. What we need is gold. With enough coin, we could buy prentice glassblowers and glazers and Mere and bring them north, offer them their freedom and teaching them arts to some of our recruits. That would be the way to go about it if we had the gold, which we do not. Um, but also keep in mind that that's John 7, which is the that's like the heart of like George's writer's block time, like is around there. Um, he kind of, let's see here. I'm trying to get the exact because it's yeah. It's, I mean, maybe you could argue that maybe it was right after because Melisandre is writing the Melisandre chapter is what breaks him out. So maybe you could argue that he was just coming out of it at that point, but it's hard to say how far he got with John. Um, but yeah, it's a lot of meandering. Yeah, I mean, I think you're right that it's there to try to show John as like outside the box planner, good, but it also contradicts what we know about the greenhouses from Winterfell too.